Let's talk about one of the coolest tactical aircraft it seems like nobody ever talks about, the EA-18G Growler. Now, this aircraft entered service with the US Navy back in 2009 and looks a whole lot like an FA-18E or F Super Hornet, and for very good reason, and actually has about 90% commonality between these two aircraft. But while the Super Hornet specializes in air-to-air and air-to-ground combat, the Growler is an electronic warfare champ. Now, the biggest differences between the Growler and the Super Hornet can be found first where that M61 Vulcan 20mm rotary cannon is found in the Super Hornet. That's been removed in the Growler in favor of cramming in more electronic warfare equipment. And then out on the wingtips, where a Super Hornet might carry AIM-9 Sidewinders, the Growler instead carries a pair of AN/ALQ-218 wideband receivers to supplement its electronic warfare duties. But the real magic is underneath the aircraft, where it has 9 hardpoints that can allow this aircraft to carry as many as 5 specialized jamming pods and 4 additional missiles, usually AIM-9 Sidewinders, AIM-120 AMRAAMs, or AGM-88 HARMs, high-speed anti-radiation missiles purpose-built to engage enemy radar arrays. Now, electronic warfare is one of the most secretive aspects of modern military technology, in large part because it is a constant back and forth, with adversary forces developing systems that are harder to jam and spoof, and then the US defense apparatus developing better jamming and spoofing hardware to counteract those advancements. But what we do know about the new next-generation jammer the Growler just started flying with this year is pretty crazy. I'm gonna be honest. And it's really just the beginning. You see, since it entered service, the Growler has flown with 2 different types of electronic warfare pods on board, both of which are variants of the same ALQ-99 system. One is tuned specifically to jam low-frequency early warning radar arrays, the kind that can sometimes detect a resonance produced by even stealth fighters, and the other is tuned specifically to jam high-frequency radar arrays, the kinds used to guide a weapon into a target. But the new AN/ALQ-249 V1 next generation jamming pod is a medium range pod, with low frequency and high frequency range pods still in development, making their way towards service now. And unlike those older systems, this new jamming pod leverages the same type of active electronically scanned array broadcasting emitter found in the most advanced radar systems like the F-35's AN/APG-81. And that allows it to do some wild things, including launching remote cyber attacks on enemy integrated air defense systems, spoofing the radar signature of the Growler or any other aircraft in the area to confuse air defenses into thinking the jets are somewhere they're not, or that there's a bunch of jets that don't even actually exist. When you're not trying to interfere with enemy operations, you can use this system to soak up a wide range of signals intelligence, gathering all kinds of data about enemy operations. And then, when you want to take out those integrated air defenses, it can even broadcast a burst of microwave energy that can destroy a broadcasting radar emitter. To put it simply, this next generation jamming pod and the EA-18G Growler that carries it can wreak havoc on enemy integrated air defense systems, and it has enough broadcast power on board to extend those jamming and spoofing capabilities way out ahead of advancing fighters that are flying well ahead of the Growler itself, allowing it to support even stealth fighters advancing further into enemy territory than the Growler might safely want to fly. Now, one of the F-35's claims to fame is that its AN/APG-81 radar is so powerful it can even be used for electronic warfare duties in much the same way the Growler's next-generation jamming pod does. But the F-35 needs to be pretty specific in the systems it chooses to jam, with a fairly narrow jamming focus. The Growler, on the other hand, can envelop an entire battle space in heavy jamming, spoofing, and more, and not just when it's heading into the fight, but when it's heading out as well, thanks to the pod's ability to broadcast in any direction. In a lot of ways, the EA-18G Growler has very similar air-to-air and air-to-ground chops as the FA-18 Super Hornet, with the added bonus of bringing about the digital apocalypse on adversary forces anywhere that it flies. The US Navy operates 172 of these specialized electronic warfare aircraft, and that next-generation medium-range jammer will soon be supplemented by next-generation low- and high-frequency range jammers as well, allowing it to cover the full breadth of radar frequencies and a whole lot more. But maybe most importantly, these next-gen jamming pods are modular, meaning that as adversary forces improve upon their air defense capabilities, these jammers can improve right alongside them.